So they'll be calling you a radical, mile walkers versus internet propped up, whoever runs the show at Google's shit talkers. So the pioneers of YouTube, which I'm one of them, the one that had the cool genre, they used to call themselves the Great Equalizer. We had to put our own logo there, and I had that beautiful painting with that beautiful woman with the hard hat on. And you put that around your script, and God, it was so good, so organic, so fantastic genre. Now, the very pioneers of YouTube, Kevin Blanch, one of the marquee ones being destroyed by the very monster we created. We created them. We made YouTube this profitable, amazing genre. And look what they do to us. The people that made it, they incredibly go after. I mean, it blows my mind. No good deed is unpunished. Where's your soup can? I got my soup can. I got my soup can. Got my soup can. Kevin Blanch, the fifth mutated Ninja Turtle. I used to be a hare. Now I'm a turtle. What a era I've gone through. Now, really, who's the misinformation? Can you believe the abuse that I've been under attack for? I don't put out misinformation. The people that are attacking me do. I mean, who is Google anymore? Who is any of big tech? The three branches of government: CIA, NSA, Department of Energy, nuclear energy renaissance. Oh, where? So I'll continue from where I was. Just did another video. YouTube and Google. I mean, they went after me just a couple days before I had my massive heart attack. Did they cause it? Part of it, the stress, whatever. I never did get an IT. You think about my historic work, my historic truth. We're talking the greatest PhD in human history. You know, I go back to the real inventor, Joseph, of the nuclear bomb, who split the atom. He was an anti-nuclear, won Nobel Prizes. He was an anti-bomb guy. You do remember that he turned on nuclear energy big time. Oops, here we go. So he turned on it, didn't he? Before they dropped the bomb. The Einstein-Russell Initiative, they won Nobel Prizes. That's back when Nobel used to give real Nobel Prizes. You think about who they give them to now. Kissinger got one? What? He got a Peace Prize? Oh, he's going to be 100. You got to talk to Henry before I go to Fukushima. Now, the only Renaissance is nuclear pork and nuclear propaganda through your own tax time. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it so thick in my life. And I've been at this since I was a little kid. The marquee professor, the economics of it, the due diligence. No, I'm the world's foremost expert. Try me. I mean, just try me. But, he's just on YouTube. Where was I supposed to go? Do you know about the JSTOR? Do you know about Aaron Swartz downloading? Do you know MIT Media? Do you know about what they've done to academia? I knew that. Where do you think I walked away? I was at the #1 school business in the country. I was the guy. Look it up. Just look it up. Just Google China-Utah influence. It took 60 minutes to tell you yesterday on the endowment. Literally decades to tell you what Kevin Blanch told you in 1 hour. I mean, my work is so paramount, so incredible. I'm so connected here as far as my bloodlines go. I'm a Mormon. They're still counting me. Abraham Hunsaker IV, the Abraham Hunsaker Mill, Grandpa 1, Ella Potter Hunsaker, Ike Potter's grandchild. On the other side, Moses Tracy himself, Adelia Admira Tracy on one side, the infamous Christian Mickelson Anderson, the nuclear engineer on the other side, Leonard Blanch. I mean, The welfare farm, he ran it. That's who raised me. Those are my grandparents. I'm so connected here, yet don't listen to a word I say. They lost their way. Jesus died so I could be rich. The prosperity, oh my God. Covet thy neighbor's Walmart goods. Hate thy neighbor. Freaking drone the real Jesus's family members in. I mean, my God, what have we turned into? What have we turned into? We're the opposite of his teachings. I mean, the reality of it all. I mean, American manufactured Jesus. Which brand? Which brand? Blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus? Walmart Jesus? Freaking covet thy neighbor's Walmart good Jesus? Hate thy neighbor's Jesus? I mean, it's unbelievable what we've done in this country. Orange Jesus? I mean, we're going to go back with sliding with Biden and geezers at Caesars 2. That's what we've got. We have been so politically indoctrinated. Political reinforcement TV, which is YouTube now. I mean, they carve out a niche, left or right, and they just stay. I don't do that. But you kettle me, I'll kettle you. It is unbelievable what they've done to this genre. They killed net neutrality. It was the biggest blow to Kevin Blanch in my life, and that's saying a lot. The under attack, the vicious under attack, the internet kettling, all the historic work I've done. Where am I supposed to go? The local media? Oh, yeah, KSL is going to put me on. Oh, okay, sure they are. All right, you're going to go to the local media? My local newspaper? Oh, those pay-to-play propaganda machines. And if you don't think they're pay-to-play, Twitter has a new app out, which is $100 a month, which I think I'm going to try to use. It's called Twitter Blue. It's pay-to-play, $100 a month, which that's probably what I have to do, try to beat them at their own game. I got to do something different because they've kettled me so hard and they viciously attack me so hard for no reason. They know everything. Google, where the demi come when the DOA themselves contradicts them. I mean, who's the liars? Who's giving out the misinformation? Not me. I proved all of it. I've done the work. Look at my typo work alone. I had a guy who's been watching these videos for 12 years come to me today and ask me, he's got some friends going to San Diego from Michigan on vacation. They're a typo. I'm like, you've been watching my videos for how long? And you just asked me that question? Oh, fuck. It blows my mind how unconscious people have become, how politically dogmatic, how they get their red dogma snuggie on, they get their blue dogma snuggie on, and then they go right to political reinforcement TV. It's a football game to these people. I love the Cowboys. I love them. Name 4 players on the team. Haven't won a playoff game in 25 years. Same with the Commanders. When's the last time they won one? These people are indoctrinated. What's the most valuable sports franchise in the world? It's the Dallas Cowboys. Bob Hayes. Back when they were good. That left when they fired Landry through the media. The great innovator. Cornell Green played here. He never played football. Should be a Hall of Famer. Football. Tom Landry invented the combine. The great player, they fired him through the media. They fired Jimmy Johnson for putting together, the great trade. Who's the great trade? You remember when that was Landry? Why do you draft Herschel Walker? Donald Trump has him tied up for the New Jersey Generals. They'll fail. They'll go bankrupt, maybe. And we'll have rights to him. I mean, he took him like in the 7th round. The NFL's draft is so corrupt, it's unreal. You look at all these superstars. Where did Cooper Kupp go? What did that young man from the Chiefs, number 10, where did he go in the draft? Where did Rashid Shaheed, the new Bob Hayes, where did he go? Undrafted. I mean, you can go on and on and on and on. Where'd Tom Brady go? 199th. It's about sports merchandising. But they're the most valuable sports. What a metaphor. They haven't won a playoff game. They haven't been in the championship game in how many decades? I mean, they take half the league, yet that's the most valuable? How is that the most? Because they're branded. It's like Democrats, Republicans, they think it's a football game. They're branded. We love Reagan. Reagan would be considered a raving lunatic liberal in this day and age. They're branded. And they just play you. And the internet, well, television, print media, it's all nothing more than dogma reinforcement. That's all it is. I don't do that. Look, they're so afraid of me they classified me. That's an unarguable fact. Look it up. I'm a guy from inside the Department of Energy sent it to me. He says, here, I'm not supposed to, but look at this. What? The Army Corps Engineers, counting the salmon on the Columbia River, their Department of Energy branch off, which was originally the Department of Nuclear. So the man who invented nuclearism, Joseph, in 1944, he knew because they had intelligence behind enemy lines in Germany. And Germany supposedly got it, and Leo lied to Albert. Albert said over and over and over at the end of his life, the biggest regret I have in my life was signing that letter. I knew that he never had it. I'm not sure he was ever really interested in it. He was so whacked towards the end of his life. So the intelligence comes back. Baby never born. Mother never pregnant on the bomb. So they're rushing. Both of them are rushing to get to Berlin, to get to the technology. Stalin and FDR, Yalta by the Sea, Churchill odd man out, or was he? So Stalin gets there first. There was nothing there. And the U.S. knew that. Joseph became hardcore anti-bomb before they dropped it. Einstein, anti-nuclear energy, anti-nuclear, hell of a way to boil water. Kevin Blanch, hell of a way to boil a planet. Yeah, they'll prop this again. You go to the DOE's website, they'll say that it was all started in the 1930s by Albert Einstein invented the bomb. And it's that letter. Number one, he never wrote that letter. Number two, he sure didn't invent the bomb. He didn't split the atom. Joseph did. And Joseph in 1944 came radically against the bomb. So FDR wouldn't. I don't think he'd have dropped it. He drops dead right after Yalta by the Sea. They find Truman. I thought the vice president. Remember the vice president for 10, 12 years? Remember him, Wallace? How come all of a sudden he wouldn't never? I'll guarantee he wouldn't have dropped it. That dude was a peace activist. They find Truman. Holy shit! Can you walk with this? The nuclear rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. They were anti-nukers that won real Nobel Prizes. Yet we're going to prop them up like that. They were hardcore. Now, the bomb, they're firebombing every city in Japan. So they come in through Okinawa. They're moving their way up. The general refused to pivot. A lot of the U.S. intelligence, a lot of U.S. brass, but the general, who you can look him up, he's not the most loved in military circles. Have you seen the movie Hacksaw Ridge? Oh my God. Mel Gibson got a freaking masterpiece there. You hate the client. Oh, that movie will make you cry. They refused to pivot. Remember, he was an unconscious objector. He says, I'm not killing anybody in the name of so-called Christianity. Look what they did to him. He stood his ground. He ends up with every award there ever was. He refused to carry a gun. He was a medic. That movie's a masterpiece. It'll make you cry. My father, my uncle raised me here, Blanch, Omaha Beach, D-Day. Big old, incredible. Oh, he was one of the first ones that got there to Hitler's so-called bunker. He never believed it. He drank the poison. And of course, Claude, my uncle, incredible fighter pilot, probably one of the most famous decorated fighter pilots post the war to end all wars, W2 in U.S. history. He just passed away. There's an interview with he and I out there. Those are the men that raised me. My dad, the Special Forces Marine, human lab rat in the Nevada test site. They found Taylor, didn't they? They found Taylor. Now, why is all this crime coming from Stanford? Well, where's the Golden Spike here in Utah? Where's the Golden Spike here in Utah? Oh, it's at Stanford. Elizabeth Holmes? How's she not in prison? Stanford. Oh, she's a dropout. What about her dad, Christian Holmes IV, Kenneth Lay's partner, and on. Do I believe Kenneth Lay is really dead, or Jeffrey Epstein really dead? It's very debatable. Epstein running the show? Well, let's see. I sat with Noam Chomsky at Helen Caldicott's symposium, and Helen refused to use the. I'm like, Helen, I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? Come on, Helen. How can we not talk about. No, Kevin, we're not talking about Fukushima here. What? This is an anti-nuclear symposium. We got all the right players here, Noam Chomsky. Now I know that Noam Chomsky. I sat with Noam. I asked Noam right to his face. Noam, how come you won't talk about Fukushima anymore? You did for a minute. He called it a disgraceful. Remember he said how disgraceful it was? Remember he said how disgraceful it was? Calabunga, dude. Remember he said, Kevin, the fifth one. He whispered to me. I sat with him. There's pictures with him and I together. At Kellen's, Dr. Perry was there. All the great players were there. Dr. Perry was the greatest. And all of a sudden, they all shut up. Now we know at the exact same time, her supposedly in February of 1950, he was meeting with who? Epstein? Bill Gates right after Fukushima with Epstein? This clan, this guy, Los Alamos? Los Alamos. Jeff Bezos was born there, his 14-year-old mother. Geist, look up his mother's father. He was the propagandist, which the Department of Nuclearism, which started in the 30s. They opened up the Manhattan Project spigot. They never turned it off. It's free money. Then they passed Pice Anderson. Los Alamos. You know, Oppenheimer, the movie's coming out. What they did to him. Oppenheimer refused. He says, no, I'm not doing this, the so-called Manhattan Project, which the project that preceded that was the project in the UK, in Mother England. Remember that? They were working on it already. They had a secret project. Remember Operation Maud? Who did he name that after? His maid. His maid was named Maud. The Apollo affair on Balco. These are all coincidences. The Zorro Ranches at Los Alamos, Epstein's clan. So Oppenheimer says, no, I won't do it. He was a genius, beyond a genius. You know, he was a young protege, brilliant. I was a gifted young guy, really gifted young guy. You know, I come from a family. My uncle, the neurosurgeon, my uncle, heart surgeon, all these. May, my auntie, beautiful English professor at BYU. You know, but I was a heathen, whatever. Oppenheimer's the greatest protege. He was a brilliant young man. And he says, no, I'm an environmentalist. They had their summer home in their cabin in New Mexico, and he hid out there. He wouldn't let him. I'm not going to do it. Because it was going to be at Oak Ridge, Tennessee, right? Or Wendover, Utah, right? We'll bring it to you. That's how it ended up at Los Angeles. For Maine. Now, he died so young in La Jolla, which my mom's from La Jolla. She grew up in Brigham City and La Jolla, the tennis player, her pink 1948, freaking custom made from the factory. Abraham Alexander the Fourth, my grandfather. He called himself the great socialist. Didn't believe in inherited wealth. He was a gem. His heart blew up. Ella Potter, Hunsaker, genius. Ike Potter spoke all 5 tribes' languages. It'll be 200 years the fur freaks got here in Ogden. You know, they were going to name it. It was named Brownsville. Brownsville was Mormon Battalion. So was Abe. And he sold deeds all over here from the Mexican king, because this was Mexico, right? When the Mormons, they didn't honor, and the Mormons called it Deseret. You know, it was theirs. They were anti-feds. They were flag burners. Oh, yeah, big time. Look at them. This was Mexico. They claimed the whole Western United States, theirs, Deseret. Well, before that, it was called New Spain. The Spaniards, Father Escalante and crew, claimed it. You know, before that, who's the savages? Wasatch means hide, French. Be 200 years. They got here this year. You have this conversation with so-called leaders in Ogden, whatever. This should be. They don't even know what you're talking about, because none are from here. They don't have any historical reference. So Peter Skeen Ogden, who never set foot here, It was going to be called. So they realized that Captain Brown was selling deeds that didn't exist. The feds seized it all. Remember the prison at Sugar House? Rounding them all up? Remember, they even seized the freaking Mormon temple in those days. You know, they're taking the frescoes out of the Mormon temple right now. Those things are grand. Whoa. So the art's been just destroyed. First, they come for the craftsmen. It's unbelievable what we've done to our heritage. So they were going to call it Bridger. Well, Bridger was in Wyoming. He's married to Chief Wasaki's daughter. And Wyoming had none of that. Bridger and Clinton, no. Peter Ski and Ogden was in Lava, Idaho, my mom's hometown. And then he wintered one winter, but he was up there on Ontario, Oregon, on the bridge on Payette, Fruitland, Galen, the Gateway. He lived there. He's an Oregon guy. Well, they named it Oregon because he supposedly settled the skirmish, so they couldn't name it Jedediah Smith. By the way, the Jedediah Smith has no dams on it. And the salmon they've collapsed every bit as much as the Columbia, the Rogue, the Deschutes, the Fraser, the Kenai Peninsula. My buddy from here, who I used to call him the king of Weber County, had died of a heart attack while I was, fighting my heart attack. He bought the salmon cannery up there. He and I used to talk about it all the time. He was on the opposite spectrum of me. He didn't believe me. Well, he knew it. He just, in denial about it. And so he passed away of a heart attack this year. So Peter Ski and Ogden never set foot in Ogden. It was high school kids. I'm the ones that got them going. My old school, I came over North Divide. There's a monument, that beautiful park, Oakland. When there was no houses, that thing was a gym. We used to play football in there. We used to play in there, hang out with teens, do all the cool stuff that teens did in the 70s you can't do now. Like they shoot you the stuff we did, boys and girls together, young teens, just having fun, being young. But we can't, our youth are not allowed to be young. I was young. I did the fullest, all of it. It was fun. You see my gypsy dance in the moonlight with a beautiful girl with her flowers in her hair. I mean, that's what we did. I danced at my daughter's wedding, in the Trinity Sea. And that was really the gypsy, but you can't put that up because they own the copyright. May the landslide bring you down. So I changed it to that great. That was a Gucci Fendi mask. She wrote up here. She says, "Where did you learn to dance? Is that a traditional dance in Utah?" No, me and my dad made it up when I was a little girl. Her mom had flowers in her hair. It's one of those things that just happened. Were we in love? I don't know. But we had a love child. Beautiful, incredible. Had a wife and kid in Ogden, Utah, Jack. I went out for a drive. I decided to go back. I raised those girls. I'm glad I did. We danced in the Trinity Sea in Italy. A beautiful fashion. I had my embroidered shirt on from Santa Barbara, California. They went crazy over it. Everybody's like, the Gucci models, the Fendi, everybody's there. It was one of those because she was she married a Fendi model from Italiano. And she was working for Fendi. He was Gucci. Should have seen that wedding. Holy shit. My beautiful granddaughter's there. The little girls. Grandsons are still pissed because they were too little and their moms wouldn't let them go. They're still pissed about that. But they've been to Monterey lots of times with Grandpa. Learning how to tide pool. Doing all the great work. Pacific girl. Where's that? What's that dance you guys do? What is that? Some traditional in Utah? California? No. Me and my dad, when I was a little girl, we made it up. So much influence. Well, come on, the Spanish influence in California, the Spanish influence in here. Hello, last of the Mohicans on balcony. These European oligarchs been fighting over this land for 500 years. I mean, who's the savages? I tell the truth all over. I do the greatest PhD in human history, and I had to go to Rogue. What am I going to do? Go to the J store? Pay to play? Aaron Swartz. I'm the activist that I've done, the work that I've done for all these years, and this is what I get for it. Nobody, internet kettling and net neutrality, hurt Kevin Blanch harder than anybody on earth. That's an arguable fact. I had it down to a science. Thus the visual, thus flipping the soup can, thus the intensity, My retention rate, it was based on retention on the search engine. I knew that. My retention rate was the highest in the world. YouTube came to me back when they were the genre and told me one time that you're in the top 10 YouTube sites, not percent, of retention on Earth. So people used to kind of, God, every time I Google, there you are on the sidebar. I knew what I was doing as the artist, as the activist, as the communication. Art is nothing more than a form of communication. Michelangelo, look what they did to him. You think he was effective? Boy, he's such a great sculptor. He didn't lay on his back and paint those. He stood. And his friends painted over. Thus, the penny painters, I named it. Me and another activist from New York in the day when I was there. They used to call them the diaper painters. His own friends. Free radicals versus post-student. What's free radical? Plutonium, photonium, anything that comes off a nuclear. Never scientists are mystified, they're baffled. How about a cancer cell? Because I'm full of cancer, given 2 months to live. You think that's a compelling story? I got cancer in 2011 and went into the Boma on 11/11/11. You think that was not compelling and passionate and intense? Without that, I mean, working on San Onofre, I'm the guy that broke the lives of San Onofre. I know those guys. My dad, the San Onofre Marine, marched into Nevada test site, nuked it. He's so beautiful. He was so incredible. We were talking about him yesterday. A bunch of old friends I saw. Yeah. He says, God, them, the Blanch girls, they were all, I'll quote my cousin, Nancy. My ex-little son-in-law was out there doing a bid. She didn't know who he was. He told her, well, you're Blanch? Yeah. It's just, my son is too. And she's who? And she says, oh, Kevin. She says, well, you know how you can tell the good-looking ones out here in Western Weaver County? The Blanches. He says, no, how's that? We're the good-looking ones. And I'm like, yeah, except for I'm not the most beautiful of the Blanch clan by far. But when I was young, I got a lot of attention for beautiful. But mentally, physically, spiritually, I tried. I'm trying. But look what I'm up against. They go after me. I had a heart attack again the second time, from the chemo in my central line. My valve replaced 5 years ago. Didn't care. They wouldn't listen to me. It blew up. And they went after me and gave me a strike the day before I had the heart. You think that's a coincidence? In the middle of the night, they just viciously attacked you, try to annihilate your whole life of this incredible work. The internet kettled me. So I knew when the internet kettling, when Congress got the bill up, I'm like, well, Trump will veto it. He didn't. He signed it. And I'm like, oh, God. Because they couldn't differentiate what was wrong and what was right. The Russian influence versus the non. I fought that guy. I fought Putin hard. I'm the guy that named him with the capital P-U. I'm the guy that named the reactor the Big Z. Play back the tape. Internet kettling, I coined the term. I coined thousands of them. But throw the baby out with the bathwater. So they're the expert? Okay, how they the expert? How they the expert? They know everything, including where the demi come on. When the DOE makes a statement on the deal, one day you'll wake up and realize they were on the earth. So Joseph, the anti-nuker, who invented splitting the atom, he was a anti-nuker. Baby never born, mother never pregnant. Right? Remember? You remember? Lord, I remember. Lord, I remember. Way up far and high. Cowabunga, dude. The fifth mutated turtle. He was anti-bomb. He turned on bomb in 44, big time. But they found Taylor, Stanford. Sam-I-am, the crypto scam. What's Stanford? He posted Bell. His mom and dad, the two Stanford professors, posted Bell with their house. Who owns their house? Stanford. What? Elizabeth Holmes. Drop out Stanford. There's a new one out now on Peru. The ex-president and his wife. They met at Stanford. Money laundering charges. U.S. is going to extradite her. She fled to Israel. This is breaking for money laundering, stealing money from Peru. Stanford. Teller. Stanford. Where's our golden spike? Stanford. You know? So, private institution. B came to the U.S. the first PM after Fukushima. Why would he go to MIT Media Lab? He goes to Hanford and Stanford. Barack Obama, commencement speech, Stanford. You know, these are private institutions, Stanford, but they sure suck up a lot of public funds. Department of Energy, who are they? Who is Google? Who is Google? They used to call themselves the Great Equalizer. Google. Used to call themselves the Great Equalizer. The greatest platform in history, the visual genre, and nobody did it better than Kevin Blanch. Oh, I knew it. I thought that we got a chance. So you think I got a chance? Oh boy, did I. But they can stuff my toothpaste back in the tube. They can take my bottle, and I knew what I was doing as the artist. Michelangelo. Art is nothing but a form of communications. Oh, did I do it? And if you're telling the truth and you're going out, they're going to go after you. Look what they did to him. He didn't interfere. I saw his second Leopold in the Duomo in Florence. Broken off arm, tipped over, half done. I think this is his best piece. Why are you such a great sculptor? My wet nurse came from he was the opposite of Da Vinci. Remember Da Vinci's young protege that lived with him his whole life? Giacomo? Oh, Michelangelo was younger. He was physical. He says the greatest art is the hock and try. Kevin Blanch, the plastering. You know, he had all that influence on me. I read a book that had never been written before. It smells like spaghetti. Must be Ferlinghetti. Back, Kerouac, back. Ode to Fructonium. Ginsburg on Balco on chemo. Get down with Ezra Pound in the Idaho breeding grounds. Kevin Blanch. Talk about a recycled beatnik. What a fight, huh? I've covered so much space, so much genre, so much area. And you know, I get a big thing the day before Google went after me again. Now, who's the misinformation? Nuclear renaissance. There's no nuclear renaissance. There's nuclear propaganda renaissance. There's nuclear pork renaissance. Well over 100 reactors worldwide have been shut down post-Fukushima. 50-something in Japan, 19 or 20, whichever count in Germany. Multiple ones all over Belgium, all over Europe, Taiwan, South Korea. How about here in the United States? It's not enough for 2 reactors there. Dwayne Arnold, freaking Cahoon, Indian Point, Pilgrim, Yankee, Palisades, Oyster Creek, 3 Mile Island, all shut down. And they all have multiple reactors except for Dwayne Arnold has one. Yet they're going to tell you got to run. How many have gone on? Oh, we got sold gazillions of them. No, they're not. China had the problem with the reactor over there. They sent the eminent domain letter to Jennifer Granholm, didn't they? CNN, of all people, leaked it in the middle of the night. You can only send that letter when you know you've had. And it was a French that sent that. They were working on that reactor, in China. So we know factually that was an event. And even the French whistleblower letter says all they've done is raise the legal limits to try to hide it in China. Well, what do you think the United States did? They crashed RadNet right when it happened. Gene McCarthy, they took it all down. They raised the legal limits, Obama administration several times. Trump then just got rid of it. Trump, you're going to talk about Fukushima to Kevin Blanch's face. Yeah. Did he? He met with a B. How many times? For a Japanese PM to meet one time, which he came. Remember, we went to Harvard and it was our group that followed him. Why would he go to MIT Media Lab? And Laura is who Snowden hands the chip to? Now, who is she? Oh, MIT. Chomsky, MIT, I knew. I should have known. I did. They brought me my wallet, my phone, my camera from the San Francisco airport down to Pacific Grove. It was 2 MIT PhDs. They're working on the nuclear program. They're like, oh boy, are you right? We were trying to prove it, and she freaking hammered us and went away with us and made us pivot out, or they weren't going to give it to us. I said, they own Academia and Swartz. What am I supposed to do? Go to the J store? Weaver State, the Nuclear energy universe. Oh, yeah. You took us from GE. They build all the reactors. I mean, hello, I'm in the belly of the beast. I've always known, I'll quote the legendary finance Professor Clyde Cooley. Now, you look it up. China influence in Utah runs right to the Weber State #1 school business. And Kevin Lynch has been screaming this for 25 years. No. There's a picture with me and Buffett on the wall. There was me and Gates on the wall. I had to take 5 showers. What happened to those? R.C. Willey got bought by Buffett. Here, I used to fly in his Learjet back there. Council Bluffs, go through all the cemeteries, all the cool stuff. And Buffett used to love me. We'd go to the element because he donated money. I'm like, they're still in our school. They're going to tie it into supply chain. You know, get your slave-made goods. The NFL. I'm like, I was so against it. I fought him, and then Dr. Cooley drops dead 2 weeks before the MBA program. The #1 school business in the country, not opinion via the testing. #1 in the country. I've always thought his death was suspicious. And they took it over. Blackballed me. I was being prepped to run the whole show. I taught the derivative arb class when 9/11 happened. Carl Madsen dies. I mean, the whole thing. And we go from first doors. Well, you don't think that was done intentionally? Mission accomplished. One guy, I fought him. Oh, I fought him. Look it up. The FBI's in there. You know, unbelievable. But, you know, Kevin Lynch has just been screaming this for 25 years. He won't listen to me. Son of Cassandra. But, anyway, I tried. I'm still trying. Where do we go from here? Never got a publicist, never got a lawyer, never got a philanthropist. Thank you, everybody's story, but I really don't even know how I'm going to do this anymore. Because I'm so financial, I'm so sick of being poor as the activist. You know, I'm trying to run this with really no money per se. Thank you to the small group of activists that have supported this historic work. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I just keep trying. Stay tuned.